Good morning, everybody, and welcome to CrivCast, a Pokemon podcast. I am your host, the one, the only, Criv Gaming. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. As you can see, we've changed a couple things around the podcast already. You're going to see a completely different layout, and we are also lucky to have a very, very special guest with us today. But friends, without further ado, we're going to be hitting our first segment on this podcast, and that is a little Tell Me Something Good.
Tell me something good.
So during this segment, friends, we're going to be going over great things that we hear in the community that other people have let me know. Good things people have going on with them. Big shout out to Alexander and Chasey for having their first successful streams over on Twitch. So much love and congratulations to everybody there. Also, another shout out to, we got Journey, who's in the process of moving to a different state even with COVID. He's having success looking for that job hunt, so shout out to Journey over there. And lastly, to Bishop, finally getting to see his mom for a little over a week and get to babysit those dogs that he's been missing so much. So, big shout-outs to those in the community. If you have good things to share with me, make sure you drop them through in the Discord. But as always, guys, that is Tell Me Something Good.
Tell me something good.
Okay, friends, with that, we are going to go ahead and swap into and welcome our guest, the one, the only, Naff Gaines. As you can see, Naff is our friend here. Naff is another Twitch streamer. Naff, go ahead and hit us with that intro. Tell us who you are and what you are all about. Talking is difficult this morning.
That's no problem. I am happy to take over. Hello, everyone. My name is Naff Gaines. I am 25 years old. I am English. I'm currently living in China, and I am a streamer, and I've been so for around 6 or 7 months. I stream a lot of Pokemon, and I'm going to be moving into a kind of retro kind of variety channel. As well as that, I like to do some weird things, so every now and again, Criv will give me a shout out, and then I'll pop up in a maid cafe outfit. That's happened a few times. Or a Sailor Maid outfit. Those have been streams where Chad have bought me things, and we've unboxed them live on stream. Anything weird I'm into, and apparently Criv is one of those things.
Exactly. Naff, you are one of the streamers as far as the Pokemon channel goes. Naff was nice enough to bless me with a raid, and from there, I mean, it's been love at first talk. We've collabed on a couple things now. I understand somebody got slapped around in Showdown a little bit. What was that? Was that a 4-3 win there on my part, coming back from 3-0? I think that's how that one played out, if I remember. Naff, do you remember?
It was something like that, but it did come down to the last attack. Last battle, it was 5 Pokemon to 6 Pokemon at the end.
Hey,
so, the last attack really meant a lot, and I'd say there might have been a critical hit or two that might have swayed things.
You know what, Naff? I think those are all semantics. I'm not sure how necessary that is in this conversation. But all I know is Criv won. But friends,
yeah.
So we're
an undefeated streak going, by the way. How's the undefeated?
You know what? We definitely did not just basically lose 3 in a row, because of course that didn't happen.
It's the call's breaking up. The call's
yeah, sorry, Naff. Are you still? COVID must have gotten him, friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Chinese firewalls come up.
Oh boy, but no, we are lucky enough to be joined by Naff today. So the plan for today, as far as our Pokemon content goes, guys. First off, we're gonna hit y'all with some Pokemon news, and then we're going to go to our main segment, which is going to be rating and kind of going over other unused sprites and other unused concepts within the Pokemon game. So, should be a good time. But with that, friends, it is officially time for the news. Okay, friends, it has been a big week in Pokemon news. Pokemon has officially announced their plans for the 25th anniversary. A couple big things that stuck out to us, and we're going to go through a lot of these, friends. Number 1. Naff, how do you feel about Katy Perry being the voice of Pokemon? Hit me with this, friend, and then I will give you my thoughts.
I mean, it's a pretty shrewd decision to make. I mean, when you think about Pokemon, I don't necessarily think of Katy Perry, but I did do a little bit of research and found a quote from Katy Perry. Do you have the same quote?
Hit me with it. Hit me with it. I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't know. Do you want me to? I can maybe sound like Katy Perry if you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does this work?
Yeah, go for it. Let's hear it, Naff. You sound just like her.
Pokemon has been a constant in my life, from playing the original video games on my Game Boy to trading Pokemon trading card games at lunch, to adventures of catching Pokemon on the streak of Pokemon Go. I've even visited the Pokemon Cafe in Japan while on tour. It is an honor to be chosen to help and celebrate a franchise that has given me so much joy in the last 25 years, and to be able to watch it evolve in the ways it's provided, that kind of electric joy for the kids in my life and around the world.
Wow. Okay. So I had actually not heard that quote before. My thought on it is, could they not have gotten somebody who, like, current? Isn't Katy Perry not old, but she's older news? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if that's the best Pokemon can do after 25 years and with how much it has blown up in the last, even let's say year and a half with the comeback that they've had, Katy Perry, really? That's the best.
Well, like, here's my thing. I don't think it's that bad. Because if the quote is true, and I'm not saying it is, but if the quote is true and Pokemon has meant so much to her, then it is maybe more important that she is the voice of Pokemon rather than, like, 21 Savage because he's popular. Or Takashi 69 because he's popular.
I absolutely know who those people are, so I feel you there. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like, they could have gone for a contemporary. They could have gone for someone new. You could have Drake doing this. But they've gone for someone that, if the quote is true and we take it at face value, it has meant a lot to her. So, maybe.
What I think we all need to see is I think Katy Perry needs to get over here on Twitch, and I think they need to, I think she needs to throw some of her knowledge out there. If it's meant so much to her, let's even just see a playthrough. You know what I mean? Let's hit her. Let's even hear the favorite Pokemon from every gen. Something like that. There should have been a test along the way to prove that she knows what she's talking about.
To be the voice of Pokemon, you have to do a Nuzlocke run on Twitch TV.
Honestly, I agree with that. I think we make this an official challenge, Naff. This is going to be a future tweet coming. Don't you worry. Katy Perry, here is your call out.
Criv at Pokemon Showdown before you can become the official voice of Pokemon.
Honestly, this is mods. You got to remind me to make this happen. But Katy Perry's getting a call out on Twitch. I'm coming for you. Just know that. Because if it doesn't work out, I'll be the voice of Twitch. Everybody knows who Criv is. So.
Oh yeah, you've got the pipes.
Exactly.
And you've got the Pokemon backlog.
Exactly. I have proof of a Pokemon backlog at this point. So that's.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe she was on Mixer. Maybe she streams on YouTube.
Maybe that could be it.
Other platforms we don't know about.
That's a good call. That's a good call. So Katy Perry is number 1 in the news. Number 2. We're seeing a couple remakes come through. Number 1, Pokemon Snap. Now, Naff, I don't know if you've played Pokemon Snap before. I hope you have. But Pokemon Snap was a big part of the childhood. Now, mind you, clearly not a skill-based game by any means necessary. But I think as Pokemon continues to make their games accessible for new generations and new players incoming, I think a remake of this game is awesome. I mean, you see the success of things like Animal Crossing and other popular games like that are not necessarily skill-based. I think it's great for the franchise to be bringing this back. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, without doubt. So I have played Pokemon Snap, but I only played it back in October. So
really?
I was well outside of it wasn't the cutting edge when I played it, I'll say that much.
Okay, yeah, well...
And I remember when I was setting it up, in the category, it even said new Pokemon Snap, and I was like, I've not even heard about this. So I don't understand how it's hit the news now, considering it must have been a thing back in October. But I'd definitely play it. I don't really play Switch games, but I'd be interested in playing it. My thing is the Switch the best platform for it? Because I feel like it's such a gimmicky game, it might actually benefit from being on, like, mobile. Or it could benefit from being on, like, 3DS, which is maybe a little bit more portable than Switch. Because even though the Switch is, by definition, portable, it doesn't really necessarily take advantage of the portability. You know, you think about the Switch, you think about plugging it into a capture card and then doing that. But to be actually able to move the camera physically, I think would be really cool.
I actually agree with you. I think if they can put this into I think if they can put this into like a Pokemon Go type setting, I mean, again, they already have the stuff for that. You should be able to play through their levels as well as make levels of your own. You know what I mean? Be able to put, like, you're going on a trail hike. Be able to put you're at the beach. kind of be able to identify your general location. Of course, we don't want to get too weird with exact location stuff, but and be able to almost create your own Pokemon Snap journey. I think that's actually a fantastic idea. I didn't think about it that way.
Maybe that's something too separate from what they're trying to make.
Could be.
I think that Nintendo is a company that does one of two things. I think they kind of hate money with their business practices. Not gonna lie, I think Nintendo makes a lot of dumb mistakes, but they love gimmicks.
Absolutely.
And I don't think they're ever tapping into the gimmick side of Pokemon Snap. And I think if there's one game franchise that would benefit from gimmicks, Pokemon Snap would be it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now, Pokemon Snap, for what all of you who played it back in the day remember, this was the first look at 3D Pokemon that the Pokemon world got. So this was, I mean, again, that's where the Surfer Pikachu really kind of hit its stride. That's where a lot of these other little gimmicky type, honestly, merchandise sales for Pokemon, the franchise, came from. This is the first time we saw Pokemon in their habitat outside of Pokemon Red, which is your little 2D guy running around on a dark game screen. So I think they can do big things with it.
Was Pokemon Snap also the first game that we saw Mew in legitimately?
I think it might be. Because I believe Mew was in Pokemon... Go ahead.
You couldn't see it in Red and Blue legitimately.
Right.
You had to do
Game Shark.
The fly glitch, or you had to push the SSR if you believed what your uncle told you. And then it wasn't in Yellow either. So it must have been Pokemon Snap was the first game you could legitimately see Mew.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I really think it was. And then I believe they put it in multiple of the other games. I think you could pick it up through a Pokemon Coliseum or something like that. But I think it was the first time we've actually seen Mew. I think that's a good call out. So, again, Pokemon Snap's coming here soon, guys. They're expecting that one to be the most recent release of games coming through. And the second are still the rumors flying around a Diamond and Pearl remake. Now, Naff, I'm not sure what your experience with Diamond and Pearl is. I had not played Diamond and Pearl till, maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It was kind of like my introduction back into Pokemon as an adult. I saw it at GameStop one day. I happened to have the right system for it. I was like, hey, I haven't played this one in a while. So, what is your view on that? Do you think that's going to be a good remake for them?
So, my experience with Diamond Pearl and, as an extension, Platinum.
Right.
I played them shortly after they came out, but, and I might be incriminating myself here, with my DS, I had very few games for it. I had an R4 card. And because of that, I was a young teenager. I had the world at my feet with the R4 card. I could essentially have any game I wanted. So at that point, I can't say I focused too much on one game. So while I have played those games, I don't remember them that well. But I do remember that I had a lot of fun with them.
Okay.
And I remember having more fun than I had with, let's say, Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
Okay.
As for how much I would enjoy a remake, firstly, I have a Switch, I've got the HDMI thing, I've got everything needed. I just don't really use it right now. So I'd probably wait until it was available for PC, wink wink, before actually playing it. And I'm not too bothered about being on the cutting edge of the games, because Pokemon as a whole benefits from nostalgia.
Absolutely.
So, you can play Red. I've just finished Black. You're doing what are you doing right now with
Black 2 and X and Y?
Yeah, Black 2. Yeah. So, it's fairly recent, but at the same time, it's still going to age very well.
Right. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think there have been the discussions around, are they going to put an open world zone like they did in Sword and Shield into Diamond and Pearl? I think it'd be interesting. I think they need to be careful not to get too far away from the game, or I think they're going to lose people. If they make it a Sword and Shield 2.0, just in a different town, I don't think it's going to go as good as they expect it to be. But I think...
No, without doubt. I want the 45-degree camera angle, and I want it pixelated still.
Exactly.
I want that to be a pre- and post-Sword and Shield universe, and I think if we're going back into the Sword and Shield universe, I want it to look like the pre-Sword and Shield universe. I feel that. So I think introducing the open world on just like the routes and stuff where you have regular Pokemon walking around could, I think, kind of be cool. I think maybe bringing back the partner system where you actually have a Pokemon following you around. I think we lost that for a while. It's something they introduced and people loved. I don't know why they didn't maintain it. I mean, we got it back in like Let's Go, but
let's be honest, who actually
Because
played
Game
that game.
Freak loves to give with one hand and take away with the other.
Exactly.
I've been clamoring for secret bases and Battle Factory to come back from the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald games.
Yeah.
And then, like, to be fair, the Underground in Diamond and Pearl Platinum, it was good, but it still felt like a step back from secret bases.
Yeah.
And now the gimmicks in each game is mostly battle focused. Like, you've got Dynamax, you've got Gigantamax, you've got Z moves. And I just want to have a base where I can, like, put things on tables and dig for fossils. So if the Underground is back, I'd be happy for that. If they expand on that, like, if I know that with the Underground you could interact with people that were geographically next to you.
Correct.
But let's say you can do that over the internet now. That would be insane.
Yeah.
Like, the kind of interaction you could do with Twitch in particular really gets my mind racing. So
I think
if
that'd
they
be legit.
expand the Underground, I'd be happy. I'd be happy. That would be my hope. I want old graphics and I want expanded Underground with internet capabilities.
So I think what you're saying is as other games continue to rip Pokemon off, I'm looking at like World of Warcraft with pet battles, I'm looking at Digimon, I'm looking at all this other stuff. You want Pokemon to rip off Animal Crossing as well, right? You want to be able to build that house underground. Do you need Tom Nook to join you down there, Naff?
I mean, Alex, I don't want to just be paying back loans constantly. I'm doing that in real life. I don't want to do that in game.
Oh gosh, very good, very good. So friends, that's what we have a little bit going on in the Pokemon news today. We're going to be doing this every week where we discuss, what's happening, what changes are we seeing, and what's going on there. But that is your Pokemon news for this podcast. Beautiful. Beautiful. So, friends, we are now at the main event for our podcast today. And that is going to be where Naff and I review some very well done and very poorly done Pokemon sprites that are concept Pokemon. Now, we're going to be talking about things like, what is their usability realistically? Where do they sit power-wise? Some of them are going to be a little bit more obvious than others. But at the end of the day, are these Pokemon that we would like to see? Or are these Pokemon that we think are a little bit overrated? And then we're going to give our recommendations on a couple lines that we would maybe like to see some additions added into. So we are going to start with, there's one that we have that I think is painful. So we're going to leave that one till a little bit later. Let's see some quality ones before we get to the one that looks like I could have drawn. So here we go with our first sprite here. As you can see, these are originally from, I believe, Gold and Silver. A lot of these sprites are where Pokemon has a lot of their leaked sprites, where Tangela was supposed to have an evolutionary line. Now, we understand the Tangela came into Tangrowth, clearly. But this seems like what could have been. Now, at first glimpse, what are your thoughts, Naff?
So, looking at the one on the left, I'm seeing an Oddish with, like, a wig. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the baby one, but the second one, I could maybe see as an offshoot, like not necessarily something that would evolve into Tangela, but maybe like an alternate form. Now, I know that Gold, Silver, Crystal didn't have alternate forms, if I remember correctly. But kind of
Correct.
like, you know how you've got Slowpoke, Slowbro, and then... Actually, no, that's a bad one. Poliwhirl, Poliwrath,
Politoed. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine that being a side grade to Tangela.
Okay, I absolutely see that. Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting Unknown mixed with Oddish vibes because that looks like the exact same layout. It looks like that could be an unknown letter. At the end of the day, pull the hair off it.
Like maybe a Magnemite as well.
Oh, that's true. Oh, they just threw 3 Pokemon in a blender here, and this is what they came out with. Okay, I got you. So I definitely think the one on the left, clearly power-wise, not that great. I would see the one on the right more as probably... And I know this could throw some people off. I see it more as a speed-type Pokemon. You know what I mean? It's a little smaller than what you expect most Pokemon to come out with, especially in a final evolution. We know Tangrowth, the existing evolution, isn't the fastest Pokemon in the world or the best Pokemon in the world. It is what it is. But I think this one could be a little bit more Trickster-esque than the Tangela is. Maybe a little bit of speed, probably definitely pushing that Poison type a little bit more, I think, as far as typing goes there.
I can definitely see the fact that because of it, the eyes are hidden, I can definitely see it being like a prankster, trickster type Pokemon, yeah.
Okay. Very good. So that is our first sprite, friends. Absolutely. Yeah, no, and I think power-wise, I don't think any of these are going to carry a team along. they're probably going to be one of those other evolutions that get forgotten along the line that nobody really ends up using. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Although, let's say that, it's a sad grade to Tangela. Maybe when Tangrowth comes out and the Eviolite becomes popular, maybe then it could maybe do something in the lower tier categories, like UU or something.
Okay.
Or Little Cup.
Okay. I see you. That's actually a good call. Didn't think of that. Make it a 4-form evolution line. They don't have a ton of those.
Yeah.
Or any. That I'm probably missing. But, okay. Very good. Well, friends, that is our first Sprite heading into Sprite number 2. Now, obviously, this is a Raichu evolution. I mean, anybody could have picked that one out. Now, we know Pokemon loves knocking off the Pikachu line. You got Pachirisu, you got Dedenne, you got Plusle and Minun, every generation has their Pikachu wannabe. But Raichu never gets the love. So what are your thoughts here, Naff?
I hate it.
Really?
It looks like a sprite that someone would make to fool you. As in, you're on the playground and your friend comes up to you and is like, oh, my uncle who works in Nintendo told me if you give Pikachu a Fire Stone instead of a Thunder Stone, it evolves into this. And then he pulls out a bit of paper, unfurls it, and this sprite is on the paper. Like, it looks like it was made to fool someone rather than to be a genuine Pokemon. I
agree and I disagree. I don't hate this. The reason being, I think the Pikachu line, rather than just continuing to make knockoff Pikachus, Raichu needs to be a little bit stronger. Raichu's not a bad Pokemon by any stretch. But when you put him up against like the Electivires and some of these other top form electric Pokemon, I think adding a little bit of dual typing to it might not potentially be a bad thing for the line. Again, we don't need any more Dedennes or Pachirisus that nobody uses because they're awful. We have enough of those. Let's cut that. But I think expanding this line might not be a bad thing and might get them to have more people use the line. And again, I know they came out with the Lowland forms. I know they did a lot of that. Of course, we get the follow-up. I know they came out with a lot of different forms and stuff through there, but I think a little power spike to this Pokemon might not be a bad thing. Now, this design concept, they took Raichu and they gave him spikes. Let's be honest, that's all they did there.
I'm a big fan of how vampiric it looks. Like, it seems like it has fangs, and it's kind of got the horns coming out the back. That just kind of reminds me of, like, a cape. Okay. I like how vampiric it is. I think that vampires, not necessarily something that is touched upon too often in Pokemon, weirdly enough, because it seems pretty obvious, but beyond Golbat, I can't think of any real vampiric or gothic influence.
Golbat and that Grimmsnarl Pokemon, but yeah. And Pokemon Sword and Shield, I don't know if you've explored that one. I think that's the only one that really gives homage to it. But I think that could be a good thing. I mean, and you can run through the Fire Fangs, the Thunder Fangs. It gives it another moveset opportunity, I think, through there.
Yeah. So I like the idea of it more than I like the execution, because it looks like it was made to fool you. It looks like it was made as a fake Sprite.
So do we think this is one of those Pokemon that when you buy a pack of Pokemon cards from Wish.com, this is probably what you're going to open up?
Yeah, no, without doubt. And it has like 10,000 HP.
Exactly.
And every move does an insane amount of damage with no energy.
That poor child who brings it to the Pokemon card tournament and they're just like, what the hell is this? Oh,
takes it to
gosh.
Get graded, and then the guy just rips it up in front of a case.
It's actually, it's the sticker. It's actually just pulls the sticker off and puts it on him. Oh boy. Okay, so we're gonna get to one of the painstaking sprites here that I feel like I could have done.
Okay.
This is from original Gen 1 sprite farming that somebody has found somewhere written in the code. And again, I'm trusting the internet here. This could be a complete joke, but this is from a couple different places that I've actually found this that seems like they know what they're talking about. This was a first go at a Pokemon for sure. I think its name was Crocky, is what it was coded in the Pokedex. I'm not kidding. What do we think about this? And now, as we think about this, clearly we need to think Gen 1. We cannot think of this as let's put this into a current Pokemon game. Let's think back in 1999, 1998, whenever they were designing this game, maybe even earlier. Again, my years are god-awful. What would our thoughts be on a Pokemon like this? Clearly clean it up a little bit, but concept, yes or no?
So firstly, I want to talk about kind of the influences I can see in it.
Okay.
Firstly, it kind of looks like, you know, if you have an MP3 file and then you change it to a JPEG, open it up, and then you just get a mess of pixels.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Okay.
I can see maybe I think it's been stitched together though, because I can see what seems to be tentacruel eyes, or tentacruel, like the red orbs.
Okay.
And what seems to be kind of like a Venusaur mantle of leaves.
Okay.
And I have no idea what the bottom half would be, but it feels like it was stitched together. So maybe they made this and then they broke it down into several other Pokemon. Maybe they reversed engineered it.
I got you.
I can't really... So, like, thinking what would look like with improved art and how a Pokemon should look, it doesn't look like a Pokemon at all. Because those big red orbs, those big white orbs, I can see them as eyes.
Yeah.
I can see that it kind of go into like a snout at the front.
Definitely an
I don't
alligator type
understand
Pokemon.
Yeah, without doubt. I don't understand why they've given it like the Friar Tuck hairstyle, where it has hair at the sides and the back, but not the top. I don't understand that much. And the body makes no sense to me.
Okay, well, Naff, hang on. As far as your hair goes,
The first pass.
as far as your hair goes, remember they gave Doug Trio hair and thought that was a good idea, and Diglett in alternative forms.
Yeah,
I don't
they give him the He-Man hair.
exactly. I personally do not hate this. I think you could put, if this were going to fall anywhere in Gen 1, it would definitely fall in with that Electabuzz, Magmar, Jinx single form evolutions. I definitely could see it in there. You know what I mean? They have the ice and psychic type. They got the fire. They got the electric. I feel like this could be one of those water types. Probably, though, as far as a power, the equivalent of a Farfetch'd. Let's be honest. Let's look at it. I think... I don't hate it. I mean, clearly, again, the idea is that they would probably have put it in... The design would have improved along the way. There's no way they just would have stuck this thing into the game because clearly, again, I probably could have drawn this drunk. But I think it's important. I mean, again, all Pokemon probably started out with something like this. I think they could have done something with it, but this is probably one of the earlier leaks of Pokemon that they originally didn't see, that didn't make it to the game. So I don't know. I think it could be interesting. I don't necessarily hate the idea of it. It needs a lot of work, but I think I could see it as a single form somewhere in the game if they improve it. Back in Gen 1.
Like, this Pokemon walked so, like, Charizard could run.
Honestly,
I feel
exactly.
Like the idea is there, but it's a nucleus right now, and it needed a bit more time in the oven before it could actually see release.
100% agree. Okay, that is the only painstaking Pokemon sprite we have here, I promise. But I didn't want to start out with that one because I didn't want all the viewers to be like, oh god, it's going to be one of these. But... So, what we have here is an alternative concept for Octillery, where we can see it's much more supposed to be like a tank, rather than just the squid. Now, I really like this. I really like this. Because Octillery is an underrated Pokemon, and we've learned that in one of our recent Nuzlockes. It has a huge moveset list, and its power is there, but it just looks like it should be a first form evolution.
Yeah, I get that.
I think adding the tank, adding a powerhouse look to this would make it a lot more popular. Hit me with your feelings.
So I completely agree. I think Octillery is a fun Pokemon to use. It has like Sniper as the ability.
Yes.
It has a crazy moveset of like high hitting moves, high damage moves.
Correct.
My thing is, if this existed, Octillery couldn't exist in its current form.
Absolutely
not.
not.
That what you'd have to do, the first form, the baby form, would have to be some kind of like egg, and then the second form, it would have like a tentacle coming out of the egg. And then the third form would have to essentially expand on this tank idea. Or, failing that, first form, egg, second form, this, third form, expand the tank even further. Maybe have the tentacles come together to create caterpillar tracks, and then use the shell of the egg as the armor. I think that if this existed, Octillery couldn't exist.
Yes.
And I would rather live in a world where this existed than Octillery.
I 100% agree. Now, again, we know Remoraid evolves into Octillery. I think if they... I feel the egg, but I mean, I think if they went egg, Togepi couldn't exist. Or it would have just tried to be a knockoff of that. But I think trying to turn Remoraid into something military-inspired could lead us here. A military-inspired fish, I think, could put us here. I definitely agree with that. I'm really
glad that both chat and you mentioned the Remoraid, because throughout the entirety of that, I was like, if you keep talking, you will remember what the first form of Octillery is. And then it just didn't come to me, because it makes no damn sense.
Well, and nobody uses...
a fish.
Everybody catches Remoraid, and they're like, shit, what am I going to do with this? I mean, even... Yeah. I'm gonna be guilty of this. We caught a Remoraid in our Nuzlocke, and I went, well, I guess that's a lost encounter. And people are like, wait. I'm like, oh shit, okay, we can work with that.
Honestly, like nowadays, if I was playing a game and I caught Remoraid, and then I evolved into Octillery, I'd be like, I didn't realize I had Randomizer on. Like,
exactly.
I would have thought that I had random evolutions on, because it is so disparate from the baby evolution.
Exactly. I think...
So, I would prefer this.
I 100% agree. I found this and I was like, oh, if only. Okay.
Yeah.
Heading into our next sprite. So this one was supposedly a hint at a different fire starter in Gen 2. Again, I know we ended with Cyndaquil, which went to Quilava and Typhlosion, which... It's a strong Pokemon, remind me, but I'm pretty sure the stats are pretty close to that of Charizard. But I don't love the design of Typhlosion, and I think maybe potentially being able to build up into a Pokemon like this. Now, mind you, a lot of these sketches are an artist's take on some of the sprites that were originally in there. So these are not necessarily the sprites that Nintendo originally drew up. But I think potentially looking at something like this as a fire starter might not be a bad idea.
So is this meant to be the first stage?
Yes.
Of the Pokemon?
Yep.
Okay, so looking at it right now, I'm seeing a lot of Flareon right now, and I can see the chat is as well.
Yep.
My thing is, firstly, I really like the Typhlosion design.
Okay.
So it'd be hard to beat, and in my head, I can see what Game Freak would do with the evolutions as it goes up. And I feel like it would stand up on its legs and get more humanoid as it evolves up. And I feel like this Pokemon, looking at it now and looking what it would be in my head, I'm like, the internet would fall in love with the fully evolved Pokemon. It would be a very popular Pokemon, I think, if it existed, but I'm not a fan of it.
I'm going to disagree with...
too much like Flareon.
I'm going to disagree with one thing you said. But go on.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
The last thing is, it looks like at least a Stage 2. I cannot imagine that as Stage 1. No one would pick Totodile or Chikorita.
I agree. Now, the one thing I disagree with you with, I am tired of them turning fire starters into people. I'm tired of it. Leave them on their 4 legs. They were born with 4 legs. You don't magically figure that one out. No offense, I'm tired of it. If I see another Infernape or Incineroar or Cinderace, leave them on the damn ground. There's nothing wrong. These Pokemon are inspired by animals.
Firefighting every single time.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of it. It doesn't make any damn sense.
You say that, but also we did start like crawling around and stuff.
Yes, but we don't have 4 feet. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I think they are trying to get too humanistic with some of these Pokemon. I think running this as a 4-legged Pokemon is a good call. I agree that it shouldn't be a first form evolution. It's got to be some sort of lion cub type thing more than likely, I feel like, and then continue to go from there. Again,
so what does the third evolution look like in your head?
It's got to be a full-blown... Honestly, I get, like, Soul... Oh, gosh, which one was it? The Pokemon Sun and Moon. I haven't played the game, but I know the box art for it. You know what I'm talking about? The lion-looking thing? Soul Galeo or something like that? I think almost like that, but more fire-esque.
See, for me, all I see is eventually it would turn into, like, a Stantler Lopunny type combination that's also surrounded by fire. That's what I think it would turn into, just knowing Game Freak.
Okay. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with you. But Game Freak, leave these Pokemon on 4 legs, please. They were born that way. Not all of them want to walk like us. And honestly, if I was in Pokemon World, let's say Sword and Shield, I'd be terrified that this Cinderace is looking like a Yao Ming basketball player out here, just about to run train on me. Like, Cinderace would just walk into an office and be like, I own this place now. You know what I mean? They're getting very far away from the beast, I guess, point of view settings with it. Yeah. So, I don't know. But
okay, next gen, we start with on our feet and then go back down.
Yeah.
We reverse.
Honestly, yes. They get too big to walk around on 2 feet. They'd center that one around America, we're being honest. That would be the American Pokemon game where we start on 2 feet and then crawl because we got too big.
It's like how Snorlax took 18 years to stand up.
Exactly.
And we're going to take 1 game to go back down.
Exactly. Oh, I just lost all my American viewers there. That's okay. So, this is another Gen 1 sprite. Gen 2. This is Gen 2. I believe, from my understanding, this was supposed to be a far-fetched evolutionary line before Sirfetch'd was even a dream. Definitely getting female Pokemon vibes from this one, personally.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those Pokemon that only evolves with a certain gender. They gave it to us in Combee. Why not give it to us in a Farfetch'd? I think
give it to us with Ralts and Gallade as well.
Exactly. So I don't think the gender evolution is something that's taboo for the game. I definitely get Swanna vibes from this Pokemon, for sure. I mean, you get the Ducklet into a Swanna, the Farfetch'd kind of turning into this type of Pokemon. Still think it's a pure flying type. I don't think adding this adds any coverage, but I think as far as from a power point of view, you could put this Pokemon on par with like a Pharaoh.
Yeah, definitely.
What are your thoughts?
I like the fact that it reminds me of like a Highwayman. Like the kind of like eye design makes me think that I'm being robbed by a Pokemon, and that's a really cool concept to me.
I agree.
Like I love the Squirtle Squad in that they were a chaotic, evil Pokemon gang, and I can imagine that being the same thing. Like it's a dark night, and then you just hear like and you're like, oh no,
flap. Oh my god, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, and then you turn around, and then you've just got this Farfetch'd holding out like a leek. Or like whatever the evolved version of a leek would be, and then you're like, oh no, here's my Pokedollars or whatever. Like, I'm a fan of the wing as well. It reminds me of like a shield. So I get like very much like a fencing or highwayman vibe, like a medieval combatant, I'd say.
Okay. What do you think about potentially making this the female form evolution and having Sirfetch'd to be the male evolution of Farfetch'd?
That would be an interesting way of doing it, where you have kind of one form that is kind of to go back to D&D style kind of like categorizations. You could have like the Sirfetch'd be like of a lawful good type.
Okay.
Talking about like personalities and stuff, and then this could be like the chaotic evil type, where in the world of Pokemon you'd have this one kind of running around mugging people, and then you'd have Sirfetch'd being kind of like the valorous, the knight Pokemon. I think that would be a really cool concept where the evolutions would have different personalities.
Right.
And overall, I'm a fan of this. It would definitely need to be updated a little bit for the newer generations.
Absolutely.
I think the wing is maybe too big.
Yep.
And it could be more of a shield, or maybe kind of like a cape that it could kind of like hide behind. Like,
I like the cape. If we're going Mass Crusader here, I think a cape would be a beautiful idea for this Pokemon, running it that way.
Oh, I want to see it like do an F on top of like a curtain or something.
Like Zorro? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Also, that'd be perfect for like the Twitch community, because like whenever a Pokemon dies, you could have it like come out and then just like swipe the screen into an F.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrifying, but also amazing.
Yeah.
This game is not made for children anymore. We are carving letters into the Pokemon as we kill them. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think this is one of the concepts. I think this is like the first one. Well, we have Octillery, but I think maybe the second one that I really think we should see added into the game. I like this one. Agreed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I could see that one. I'd get down with that one.
Beautiful. Okay, so this one, again, this is from Gen 2. They were looking at potentially adding or maybe this is Gen 1. I don't remember which one this is necessarily from. But they were looking at adding a Meowth pre-evolution. We definitely get those vibes. Although with the coins, I don't know if that is just the artist's depiction or if that was actually there, because I'm definitely getting psychic-type vibes from this Pokemon if those are floating. Do we think Meowth needs a baby form to join the likes of Pichu, Igglybuff, Cleffa, Smoochum, you name them? Do we think it's necessary?
No, not at all, and I don't like this because it doesn't feel like a baby Pokemon. It looks fatter than Meowth, and it expands on a theme that I think was sadly missed with Persian. I think that the coin theme could have been expanded upon, but it'd be weird to go from like a baby Pokemon where the coin theme is very pertinent, and then you got Meowth, which has one coin, and then Persian that has no real symbolism with coins.
I get that.
So I can see this being maybe like an alternative form, like, you know, a Galarian or a Lowen Meowth, but definitely not a baby.
I can get with that. I think it's important as well because as far as what we're looking at from this point of view is that in Sword and Shield they gave us Berserker, which was a big part of the game. You know, we got Sword and Shield. They gave us Berserker. I think they missed the boat with that one as well. You know what I mean? I agree. I think Persian, they definitely could have put the coin in there, and I think it would have gone a long way. I think it's definitely necessary as we continue to build through this. Now, again, I don't think this one's necessary at all. I don't think it is far enough away from a Meowth. My argument is, Naff, we all have baby fat sometimes. Some of us are still working it off, okay? You know what I mean? But we definitely have to work through it there. So, I don't think that one's necessary either. I 100% agree with you. So, goodbye. Be gone, baby Meowth. Okay. These little chunky blob lines is what we have going through here. Definitely just looks like a tiger. I don't not love it. I don't think they evolved it well enough. You know what I mean? The evolutions literally don't add anything. What do you think?
So we've talked about the Pikachu clones. The first thing is without a doubt a Pikachu clone, and I agree. Firstly, it doesn't evolve enough stage to stage. Secondly, it's kind of too close to an actual animal for my liking. Okay. I like it when there is animal influences in Pokemon, but at the same time, it feels like it's not got away from this animal. Okay. It just feels like an animal you could see in the wild with like a little bit of artistic freedom or artistic license. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I don't really see any real type to it. Like, what would you say the typing is?
This would be normal. This would be a normal type, no question. Now, I agree with your Pokemon. I agree with your Pikachu influence here. That little one looks like Togedemaru, but on 4 legs. Now, maybe Togedemaru needed a line.
So you should like it.
It's true. It stays on 4 legs. You know what? Thank you, whatever artist did this rendition of this sprite idea, because thank you. Keep these Pokemon on 4 legs. I think this might prompt, though, as they're creating these Pikachu lines, give them evolutions. Look at a Togedemaru potentially build out of something like this. You know what I mean? I don't dislike the idea. I don't like the design of the Pokemon. I agree with you. I think it's kind of useless. They basically made a tiger fat and they're trying to sell it that way. Or lion, no, tiger, yeah, that one's a tiger. Whichever one it is. But I don't think it really has any real type push. But I agree with the Pikachu side. I think if they take a Pikachu line and they continue to build it out, things will be good to go. I think that's an influence they can take from this design that they can then push on to the other Pokemon.
Yeah. Okay. I think the ideas are there, but at the same time, it doesn't add anything to the game.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
I 100% do agree, though, the Pikachu clones need to be expanded upon, other than just being like, oh, it's this generation's rodent.
Exactly.
I think the biggest myth of the 3rd generation was Plus and Minun.
Right.
You could have done something so cool where they like connect like a Megazord. Let's say you have 3 of each in your party, and then they transform into like some kind of Lovecraftian abomination.
Ooh.
It would be insane, and it would be fitting with the themes of those Pokemon. So,
So
I want more to do with those.
So, Naff, I think this brings a topic that we might have to bring you back for eventually, which is potentially fusions. But I think I agree. They have to do something else with that Pikachu line. They got to stop just giving us what more. Pico was the most recent one, I think, in Sword and Shield, the one that goes dark and normal. They're not necessary. Stop it. Nothing is going to be as big as Pikachu. Stop trying.
Would you say Mimikyu is a Pikachu clone or not? Is
Yes
Mimikyu...
and no. It's not, because it's not an electric type that they've tried to push on us. Let's look at all of them. We have Gen 1 was Pikachu. Gen 2 was basically just Pichu. You know what I mean? That was kind of their addition.
Yeah.
Gen 3, I think, is when they put in Plusle and Minun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gen 4... Oh, what was the Pikachu from Gen 4, Naff? Do you remember? I'm blanking.
Pachirisu?
Yes. Pachirisu is Gen 4. You're going to start losing me here. Was Togedemaru 5 or 6? Anyway, you got all these Pokemon coming through here, and I don't know. They got to expand upon it. I'm tired of it. I know why. They do it for a marketing point of view. They are waiting to find what other cute rodent they will be able to squeeze money out of, and I just don't think it's there. But I think
to be honest, also
good.
From the design perspective, you got to think the day that they come up with the rodent of a generation, that has to be a free day. Like, they've just gone through the starters, they've done the legendaries, they're like, oh, it's Friday, I want an easy day. Let's make this generation's rodent.
Exactly.
And then they just do it in 5 minutes, and then they just go and have some beers in the beer garden.
Exactly.
That has to be a nice job for the designers.
I think their rodent drawing normally starts looking like this, though. But no,
to be fair, the two eyes, move them down, you've got the cheeks. That could have been the early Pikachu.
That could have been Pikachu. Oh my gosh, we just found it, Naff. We officially identified this. But to answer your question, Mimikyu, I do not see the same as Pikachu. I think it is an amazing concept of a Pokemon, and if I understand in challenge mode or in competitive, it's not a bad Pokemon to use. Especially being able to take that first hit with its ability. Not bad. So,
yeah.
We got about 2 sprites left to go through, and we're getting a little late here. But they're saying this is a separate Pokemon. I believe this is an original concept for Tentacool and Tentacruel. This was Gen 1, supposedly.
See, I see alternative Omanite and Omastar.
Oh, you're right. I see that.
Because you've got the Pokemon underneath the shell, and then it just kind of gets expanded upon.
Right. Okay.
To be honest, I don't necessarily like it more. I'm just going to go under the assumption that it's an Omanite Omastar type thing. I would maybe like it more if there were cracks showing in the shell, so that
it's bursting out of it.
Foreshadows the evolution where it is completely out of the shell.
Right. Yeah, someone in the chats threw out that we also have some Paris eyes here, if you look at the eyes of the one on the left.
That's true. Yeah. The one on the right looks too much like a blooper from Mario, though.
Oh, it does.
And that does cast some doubt on the entire thing for me, because it looks like someone's like, oh, I need to make a Nintendo-esque design. Oh, let's just copy a blooper. Or
I think if let's say they truly hold on to the sprites they don't use, and somebody in the chat brought this up, I think you definitely get some Inkay Malamar type recommendations on this one, or influences. Or these could have influenced those. A little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So.
But no, overall, I like them, but I can't get away from the kind of the influences that I can see. And if they were added to the game, I would like maybe a little bit more differentiation between what they are and what they are influenced by.
I agree. I don't think they really add anything. I think this is another one we leave. So the last set of sprites we have here are actually some cool fan art that I found for a Pokemon concept. I only wanted to throw one of these in, but I actually, and humor me on this thought. Oh, no, this is actually not that one. I apologize. We have one more. We have one more to go. I'm miscounting. So, this is supposedly a concept in Gen 2 with a little bit of a Wolfman type Pokemon. What are your thoughts?
For Gen 2, it does not fit in. For
Agreed.
Pokemon nowadays, it does definitely fit in. I can almost see it in Gen 2 in the same way that, like, Wobbuffet isn't necessarily a Pokemon that you'd expect, because Wobbuffet isn't the blue thing, it's the tail. in the same way that the brown fur isn't the Pokemon, the eyes,
the interior,
and the black inside is the Pokemon.
I agree.
So I can kind of see it that way, but it feels like a late generation Pokemon.
I agree, and Dinky actually made this comment in the chat, and I actually agree with him there, and this was one of my thoughts. This feels like it's in the wrong franchise. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah,
this is a Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon.
Yeah.
100%, no questions asked. This is not a Pokemon. I think this is one of the animations you would find in a knockoff Pokemon.
Yeah, no, without
Personal,
doubt.
personal feeling.
Like Temtem.
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? Hey, it might be showing there soon. We don't know. But no, I definitely don't feel like this one fits. I think it does not go well with their little generation that they have there. So, wanted to throw this one in.
Definitely the later one. The second one, it looks borderline scary for very young children. Because you got to remember, this is a kid's game at heart, and it's wearing the corpse of something.
I agree. Like,
Wobbuffet you can get away with because everyone thinks that Wobbuffet is the blue thing. And
it's
even
not,
if
it's
you
the tail.
know that it's the tail, it's not dark. But that thing is 100% dead.
Yeah, it definitely killed something and put its skin on. I agree. So
what is odd though is that the fangs go from being on the top lip to the bottom lip, even though it's every bit as dead as it was before.
So what you're saying is that across evolution, this Pokemon had to go kill another wolf so it could flip its face around.
Yeah, potentially.
Okay. I think that is a little dark.
Overall, I can't see it. I can't see it in Generation 2, maybe in Generation 8, but I can definitely see it in Yu-Gi-Oh! More than anything.
I got you. Very good. So the last one is the concept. Now humor me on this one. Somebody clearly drew this. This is not anything from Pokemon. One of the things that bothers me when they do alternative forms, let's talk, and I got a little bit of Vulpix and a little bit Vaporeon vibes from this one. I do not like when they take a Pokemon, call it a different form, and just paint it blue. I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
I hate it. There's no creativity. They're just like, oh, we got to add something. We got turn it blue. Like, why? It added literally nothing. When I think you could have taken something like this, I don't think this is the final part, and turned this into like an Alolan Vulpix.
Yeah, no, without doubt. And for me, there's just too much going on with it. It feels like, you know, you were talking with your friend on the playground, and you were like, oh, I saw this Pokemon, and it had a mermaid tail, and then it had clouds down its neck, and it had big ears, and also wings. Like, it just feels like a child's fever dream of what is cool.
I absolutely agree.
There's
I agree.
Too much difference between the two forms, or the evolutions.
There would need to be a middle form evolution on this for sure.
Yeah. And there's too... Again, you can see the influences way too much. And the second form looks like a Digimon to me.
I agree. I do agree with that one. I wanted to bring up this concept around the stop creating... Again, they gave Diglett hair, and that's supposedly an alternative form. They painted Vulpix and Ninetales blue and white. I think the form should be truly... The one thing, and I know we talked about we didn't think it fit the line, but I think the Berserker idea where the actual Pokemon itself is changing pretty substantially, I think is good for these Galarian forms or the Alolan forms or whatever. I think they need to get more back on that front.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's just too much going on for me.
Okay. I can definitely get on board with that. So, friends, that is all we have as far as sprites, but we're going to, for a couple minutes here, discuss what lines do we think are missing forms. Now, a couple of shout-outs to people in the chat, because I did ask my community this before. One major one was Absol, and I don't disagree with that. I think Absol is definitely a little underpowered. I think you could give him a pre-form and a final form, for sure. I don't think there would be much pushback on that one. What are your thoughts?
So Absol, I mean, one does exist. You've got Mega Absol. And my issue with the new games is that these Mega Evolutions, they could just be evolutions.
Exactly.
Easily.
Yeah.
And if Mega Absol was the evolved version of Absol, I think everyone would be very happy.
Agreed.
And as it stands though, I think Absol is kind of... It fits what it is, because it's like the Doombringer Pokemon.
Correct.
I can definitely see it that way. I can see it as kind of like a Pokemon of folklore. Not necessarily a legendary, but I think for the Pokedex entry, it fits very, very nicely.
Okay.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it needs a pre-evolution. I kind of think that the enigmatic nature of it just kind of like appearing, it adds to the lore of Absol.
Okay.
I think that if you're going to change it at all, make the Mega Evolution just normal evolution.
I agree.
But I could make that argument for almost any Pokemon.
I agree, and as we've said, they're fine adding hair to Pokemon, so why can't Mega Ampharos be the next evolution of Ampharos, where they just gave it hair? Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree with that one. Another one, and then we'll get to our thoughts on our end, was Lapras. I think Lapras could potentially use... I don't think it could use a later form. I'm going to be honest. I think Lapras is the late form. But I think as they try to introduce it earlier into games, it can definitely be a Pokemon that evolves at level 40. And I don't think anybody would argue with you there. But give it some sort of pre-evolution to potentially allow you to play with it a little bit sooner. Because in most games, you don't get it till late. What are your thoughts?
And games where you get it early, it feels off to me. Like
it's overpowered.
In my Nuzlocke, I ended up with like a level 19 Lapras. I was like, this is too big and it's too kind of prehistoric to be a level 19. You want it at level 40, like you said.
Right.
So I think a baby would be a nice addition to that line. And also, I don't know, you see Lapras and you see a kind of like maternal Pokemon almost. In the same way that Kangaskhan is maternal. I see Lapras as kind of like occupying that same kind of area.
Everyone assumes
So
that
I can
Laprases are
definitely
female.
see-
I agree. Yeah. The assumption is a Lapras
Yeah.
is a female Pokemon. I agree with that.
Yeah, and because of that, like, you know, we were talking about Pokemon Snap earlier. I would love to see in like a level of like caves or something, in this secret area where there's like a pool with just like a fully evolved Lapras, and then just tending to all the children Lapras. I think that would be a really nice image to see, and I can definitely see it. So I would get down with a baby Lapras. I can imagine that.
Okay, so we're adding Katy Perry, and now I think we're adding Pokemon Snap creators to get us Naff's dream scene of Lapras.
Yeah. All I want is hot and cold to be playing as I go through the cave. And then when I stream it, I want to get a DMCA from Jeff Bezos himself. And then I would be happy.
Of course. Okay, so Naff, hit me with who you think needs an extra evolution and why.
Oh, I think you cut out for a little bit on my end. I'm guessing you were
you're
asking
good.
me the question?
You're good, yes. Hit me with who you
Okay.
think could use an extra evolution and why.
Yeah. So I do have the thing that says my internet connection is unstable, so let me know if I'm breaking up a bit.
I can hear you fine.
But I was thinking about this earlier, and I think that Voltorb Electrode is a swing and a miss. Because you have the Voltorb, it's a Pokeball. You have Electrode, it's an upside down Pokeball. And in my head, since I started playing Pokemon at the age of like 7 or something, I've put Voltorb and Magnemite together. And that's made sense to me for the longest time, because I thought it was a case of in red you get Voltorb and in blue you got Magnemite.
Right.
And that's just a false memory that was imprinted on me for whatever reason. But turns out they're completely separate. There's nothing really linking them.
Right.
But I think it'd be really nice to have a third evolution of Voltorb. And in my head, you know, you've got this kind of like rotation motif going on. How about one that's just split down the center, and the kind of like faceplate can move around individually? So, talking about like Pokemon in the real world, let's say you were battling and it would switch, but the face would stay static, and whichever side it went on would determine whether it was more of like attack mode or defense mode, or if it was more self-destructive or just straight up attacking, or physical versus special. I think it'd be cool to have a kind of what's the name of that sword Pokemon?
Honedge? Honedge, yeah.
Yeah. To have that kind of dynamic where the orientation of that Pokemon would determine how it actually functions.
I agree with that. I think that would actually be pretty cool. Because, I mean, again, they gave Magneton Magnezone. You know what I mean? So they expanded that line already. And I agree. I think it's just because you catch them in the same place That's probably why they're linking in your brain. They're in that power plant or whatever. Really, I think is the first time you can really catch either of those Pokemon.
And then when Magnezone came out, that's when my brain kind of broke and was like, they're not linked. Because it made no sense that one would get an evolution and one wouldn't. I was like having a usual suspects moment where I was like, whoa. It blew my mind, honestly, that they're not as linked as I thought they were.
I got you. No, and absolutely. And I think that's... I understand where you're coming from with the, maybe attack mode, defense mode. I know personally in Nuzlocke, if there was a self-destruct mode, we would all panic. But I feel you on that one. I think that Pokemon could use a third evolution. Now, honestly, if you were living in the Pokemon world, the Voltorb line is terrifying. You think you're walking up on a Pokemon, and all of a sudden you're just about to get exploded on / shocked. Because my understanding is in the lore, aren't these Pokemon essentially over-electrified Pokeballs? That's how they're created. And that's why they self-destruct, is because they get too electrified. In the Pokemon world, that would be terrifying. You're basically walking up on a mine or a grenade, like with the pin already pulled.
Also,
the pin's already out.
Tell me you can't see this. So you open up TikTok and you're like, oh, hey guys, I'm gonna prank my friend. Gonna replace his Pokeballs with a Voltorb. You can totally see that video.
Oh my god, he totally died. Did you see that? That was crazy. Yeah, no, I definitely.
Whoa, remember to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe.
I 100% agree. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with one of mine, and then we'll each get two here. So,
okay, yeah.
One of mine that I think could use an evolution that I think got left out is Pinsir. They gave Scyther Scizor. They gave all the other first form evolutions Babymon, and some of them Second Mon. And Pinsir's just Pinsir. I know you have Mega or whatever. I'm not even considering Megas right now. I think Pinsir is a forgotten Pokemon that they could do a lot more with. I think there's a way to add potentially a second form evolution, or maybe even a first form evolution. And I know we got some notes in the chat here. We're saying Heracross is kind of that Pokemon. They're not linked. You know what I mean? They are in the fact that they're both bugs, but like, why couldn't that have been an evolution for it? Or why make Heracross more accessible, or give us a way that we can transform Pinsir into something a little bit more usable.
So what does the Pinsir evolution or pre-evolution look like in your head?
I'm not the creative type, Naff. I don't know. I think adding, if my drawing looks like that, Naff. That's what my Pinsir would look like. No, I'm not positive exactly what I would turn it into. I just think getting it into, I'd have to think about that. I'm not positive. I mean, maybe add a beak, I don't know. This is why I don't create Pokemon. I'm not good at that side of things. But I feel like there is a missed opportunity to make Pinsir more usable than it already is.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
No, I get that. Thinking about what it would look like, I can maybe see the claw on the head being expanded to be maybe like an arm thing, but maybe that's too close to Scyther.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because you think about evolutions, stuff gets bigger. That claw is already huge.
It
to the
is
point
already
where
huge.
If you made it more of a focal point, it's going to be going back down to 4 legs, which you're probably happy about, but it's going to be too heavy to realistically walk around with. So it's a difficult one to make more of. I suppose they did with the Mega, where it grew to like a cockroach type thing.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe you could expand on that. Or maybe make it into like a stag beetle. I suppose that is Heracross, isn't it?
That's kind of his Heracross. Well, Heracross it's not a stag beetle. It is a Hercules something. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's
you're right. It's a Herculean beetle.
Yeah. So okay. Well, we can kind of work with that. But what do you got for your next Pokemon, Naff?
Okay, so like my other one, and it's going to be a controversial one, but I would like to delete or repurpose a Pokemon and then replace it in the evolution chain.
Hit me with it.
So I think Dragonite, get that away from the Dratini Dragonair evolution line, give it its own Pokemon, give it its own line if you really want, and make the third form of Dragonair make sense.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense in its current form.
A snake is not going to randomly become a person. Yeah.
Big blue worm, and then fat orange dragon. It doesn't quite line up to me.
I think as far as an influence on that, what is it, Superior? Snivy Full Form Evolution. I think something like that, clearly not that because it's to that evolution, but I think potentially adding something like that to the line where you have just this awesome snake-looking mon could definitely, I think go far with that.
Yeah, maybe like to even steal more influence from Superior, you could expand it, like give it like a royal cape, have the kind of like the small white wings turn into a kind of like I don't know, a cloak or like a shoulder sheath or whatever you want to call it. I think that would be a cool way of going about doing it.
I absolutely agree.
But I think as it stands, Dragon Knight makes no sense whatsoever.
Okay.
So give it its own evolution, because you could do cool things. I like Dragon Knight. I just don't like the kind of progression.
Okay. Now, as far as my last one, we were getting a little short on time here, but one thing that bothers me about two certain Pokemon lines. Why does Luvdisc not evolve into Alomomola? Pokemon, what is going on with this? Neither of them have anything going with them. What is wrong with you? This was literally such an easy progression for them to make Luvdisc usable. But it doesn't. And I know ROM hacks have made this a usability as they've continued to build it out that way. But like, there is stuff like that Pokemon does that makes no sense. Somebody is paid to make these bad decisions. We need to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Like we said earlier, Nintendo hates money.
Exactly.
It's showing. Like Luvdisc, you could evolate it, or you could just make it into a Pokemon that is a little bit more usable.
Exactly. So that's kind of as far as evolution goes. That is my last big comment as far as what they need to fix. I know a lot of people are outraged by this, and I am on that train. Nintendo, do better. Even if you introduce it, in the next game, I don't care. Nobody will be upset if you're like, hey guys, it always did it, we just forgot to code it. Like, great, everybody will be happy again, everybody can get back to their lives. But this is something that divides the Pokemon community.
I don't think it divides the community. I think it divides the fans from Nintendo, to be honest. Like, I don't think anyone would be like, oh, you've ruined the sanctity and the integrity of Luvdisc. No,
exactly.
I think everyone would be in agreement.
Exactly. That's maybe the wrong thing. That divides Pokemon from its fan base. I think we're gonna call it that. But
yeah, no, definitely.
So, as far as discussion goes, guys, this is the end of our main discussion here. Naff, real quick, so everybody knows, we are going to do a quick Pokemon card opening. Naff, you're going to be on camera while we're doing this, too. We got a double V Champions Path box. We're just going to open one pack, and then I'm going to also flash some code cards at the end of this, so y'all can get those if that's something that interests you. I have like 70 of them, and I don't use them. Naff, hit me with what your sign-off and what you want our viewers to remember about you from your time with us today.
So thank you for tuning in today. It's been truly an honor. Thank you, Criv, for being a wonderful host. It's been amazing. A lot of good discussions to be had, and I think I don't know if Criv is opening to me back, I would love to be back. My name is Naff Gaines. You can find me where you find me. And it's truly been good. You're going to see a lot of weird things over on my channel, but if I'm good enough for Criv, I'm good enough for everyone here. It's been amazing. Absolutely.
Naff is a wonderful person to have on here on this stream, friends. Again, we've done collabs in the past. There are planned collabs in the future whenever Naff gets out of China. And we're looking to do big things. Again, if you're looking for his information, people on Twitch, we're going to be hitting y'all with we're going to give him a shout out here. People on YouTube, you're going to be able to find his Twitch and social media in the description below, so make sure you check that out. But friends, we're going to go ahead and do a quick opening of some Champions Path here. Real quick. There is your code card if that's something that interests you. Try to move my finger so you can scan it. Naff, guess the energy of this pack. What do you think it's going to be?
What are you talking about, like literal Pokemon energy?
Yeah, fire, water, electric, dark, steel.
I'm feeling electric.
You're wrong. It's dark energy. Let's go. Let's get the Zard here let's get the Zard here, friends, if we can. We got a Rotom Bike. We got Absol. Hey, we were just talking about you. Bede, who is by far the worst person in Sword and Shield. We got Purloin, Sizzlipede, Roly-Coly, Inkay, Nickit Reverse, and nope, Swablu Reverse, and oh snap, a Rainbow Rare Pierce. That's actually a really good pull. I will take that, friends. very good. Honestly, pack was fire. Honestly, Naff, it was those good vibes you were sending our way. It's not a Charizard, but it is still a legit card. Can't sleep on that. Friends, we are going to give you a quick... Go ahead, Naff. Hit me with it while I'm doing codes.
Are you someone that can, like, price a card just by looking at it? Like, what are you looking at?
That one's probably about $12 to $15 estimated.
There you go.
Not bad.
You can put that straight back into more packs.
Exactly.
Like, I would love to get into pack opening because this type of thing, it excites me so much.
And it's one of the things I know a lot of, and clearly I'm talking as I'm giving codes, but a lot of streamers have gotten into it. And I think it's good that they've brought back Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? Now, it also sucks because the supply is awful right now. If you try to buy Pokemon cards, it is almost impossible to actually find them anywhere. I went through some dark holes to get some of these things. I actually happened to run into the person at Target as they were getting ready to stock the shelves. I literally just pulled them off their cart from the back room. That is how I got these packs. I happened to be in the right place at the right time, but literally, by the time I left the store, all of the boxes were already off the shelf. People bought them.
Wow. You were just like, do you know who I am? I'm CrivGaming166. Look me up on Twitch.
Exactly.
Mizkif isn't getting his grubby hands on these.
Exactly. So absolutely. Now, I don't know what your ability... Honestly, Naff, you probably have better grab on some of the Japanese packs and stuff like that. I know you guys are pretty close together.
I could probably get... So I've already looked into this, and I could get an insane amount of Chinese cards for essentially, like, $30.
Are they real?
But they're an insane amount of Chinese cards.
So no,
all
okay.
I can say about them.
Okay, I got you.
All I can really say.
Oh my gosh.
From Taobao, which is where I bought a Peppa Pig Gucci t-shirt from, ironically. As well as like most of my fake things that I have.
I got you.
So they're not real. But I might do one opening of just like some Chinese cards. I don't know if they actually are worth anything. But it might be fun. It might be fun. But once I'm back in the UK, a month today, I might get into it. I could potentially get into it.
Well, you know what? I will be there as you do that. But friends, this is where we are going to call it a day. Again, a big thank you to Naff Gaines for joining me. Make sure you check out my social media below in the description, or drop me a follow on Twitch at CrivGaming166, where we do things like Pokemon Nuzlocke, Challenge Versus, where we beat Naff 4-3, as well as other great Pokemon content. So come check it out, friends, and as always, make it a great day. Hey everybody, thank you for coming out to today's podcast. If you're interested in keeping up to date with more of these podcasts or when I'm going live on Twitch, make sure you drop me a follow at the social media sites or join the Discord, which you can find in the description below. As always, keep spreading the love, do what you can to make the world a better place, and remember, it's a great day to make it a great day. We'll see you in the next video.